Hello, I'm Liam Killen, and yeah. So today is a good day for two reasons. I'm going to show you how to use the OP1 as a really cool sound design tool, and also I'm giving away a free sample pack. This mini sample pack contains an AIF file of all the samples, which you could just drop into your OP1, and it also contains individual wave files of each one shot if you want to use them for any other reason. I've included a download link in the description below if you want to check that out and just get out of here. I should say though that my goal by the end of this video is for you to say,
screw the sample pack, I'm just gonna make my own.
Okay, so to start off with, let's take a look at the OP1 and figure out what options we have to actually design sounds. So I'm gonna skip to LK selection. So this is my own selection of uploads, and we're gonna go straight to the 808 kit for this example. I feel like 808s are a good starting point for sound design. They already sound good and you can't really go wrong with them. Before we actually start tweaking, I'm gonna break down all of the processing options that we actually have. To start off with, we just use the blue knob to pitch the kick any way we want. So let's go down a few notes. Next we go shift 3, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options to actually design our sounds. A few of these effects are pretty extreme and very specific, so you might want to use them subtly. So we'll start off with the cow. So right off the bat, it's like it gets pretty
bonkers.
So let's go straight to the next one, delay. That's a cool effect. I kind of like that on a higher pitch sound though. Let's go back to the kick. We'll go to grid. Let's check that one out. Nitro. So basically nitro is just a standard filter. You could boost certain frequencies if you want, and you could cut the high end and low end. I find it works really well with the kick. To be honest, I don't fully understand how this one works, but what I do know is that if you turn everything to 99, everything kind of sounds the same. Okay, next, let's go to punch. So punch is kind of similar to nitro in a way. You could boost certain frequencies. I find it works really well on bass and on kick. It's always good to A/B as well. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the effect, see what it sounds like, go back to it, because otherwise it's kind of easy to get lost if you just stay within the effects. Whoa. See, I kind of like the snare with punch on it. Sounds great. It really gives it that extra punch. I've used this one quite a bit. I oftentimes use it on hi-hats to kind of glue it to the rest of the beat. I find it's a bit much on the kick. It sounds better on higher pitch stuff like snare or clave. Okay, so we've gone through all of the effects. Let's go back and choose one that we like. I kind of liked the punch. Okay, let's find a setting we like. So the next thing we could do is shift 4, and we could add an LFO to this. Yeah, so this one doesn't seem to stay put. So let's go to the next one. We'll go to crank. So if you go to the drum option in the middle here, this actually changes the pitch of the kick. So if you want, you could crank it and then press record on your DAW and just
start kicking.
Element. Doesn't seem to help us at all. We're gonna skip MIDI because I don't think that's useful for us here. Let's go to random. Once again, I'm not sure how useful random will be for one-shots because it seems to be just choosing random notes as I turn knobs. Tremolo. So this one's really useful. You could change the pitch if you want. You could also change the envelope depending on the waveform that you want. So by doing that, you press Shift and then twist the red knob and that'll give you a different waveform. So if you want it to be a really quick kick versus a longer one, let's try it on the snare. So far, tremolo is the most useful one for one-shots. It seems to have the most significant effect. Let's take a look at the value LFO. This one I haven't used very much, so this is kind of experimentation for me as well. Eight controls the speed of the LFO, and the amount is the green knob. And it seems that the higher the speed is, the more it has an effect on these one-shots in terms of the pitch. So let's see what it sounds like with and without. So this is the snare. That's with it, without. So it's kind of a funny little warped snare sound, which is kind of cool. Okay, so just to review what we have so far, I'm gonna go back to effects. We have the punch effect on for the kick, and then after that we have the value LFO on. So you might think we're done in terms of processing here, but we're actually not. There's still quite a few more things that we could do. Press the master track button here, and then press 3 to access another LFO. This is kind of like we're entering the realm of endless possibilities. There's just so many variations that we could go into. Delay, let's skip that. Let's go to spring. I'm just gonna go back to the starting point to show you where we started with this kick and then where we are now. To do that, I'm just gonna go back, 3, take off all these effects, master track, effect off. Okay, so this is what we started with. Put these back on. So that's one awesome thing about the OP1 is that you could start with a classic sound like an 808 kick and end up with something completely different. That was super fun. I'm actually going to go through the same process again with a higher pitched instrument. There's a couple more things that I'm going to show you along the way as well. I should show you this sound on the cow. This is like one of my favorite sounds that it creates. So sideband, I put it on full blast. It's kind of like an intergalactic space sort of thing. Delay, I'm gonna mess with that as well. So cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So a few things that I haven't shown you yet. I'm on the master track here, press 4, and now you can mess with the drive and the release. Let's give it less drive. So when you bring the drive down, it actually takes away some of the gain as well, but that leaves you more space in your DAW to push things and compress and whatever. I find that if you push the drive too much sometimes, it has a very like OP1 kind of lo-fi sound, and if you're trying to get away from that a little bit, you might want to take it down to 0. I kind of like the lo-fi thing though, so I'm going to keep it up to maybe 50. There's another thing I'm going to show you as well. It's kind of like a waveform thing. You could change the attack and release. So you go to the drum track and press 2.
Very interesting.
Okay, cool. So once again, I'm going to go back to the starting point. So I'm going to take off all the effects. Drum, 3, blah. Master track, 3, blah, off. Let's see what we started with. So we started with a little put sound like that, and we ended up with this. Another thing that I'll touch on again is that it's kind of easy to get lost using these sounds, so try to use them a bit subtly, but if you want to go crazy with them, the option is definitely there. If at this point you're thinking, I'm not going to download this free sample pack, I'm just going to make my own, then my work here is done.
Done.
I want to thank you guys again for watching my videos. My new goal now is to get to 200 subscribers, which doesn't sound like much, but to me it's a lot. I make videos all the time now, so I guess I'll have one for you soon. So, yeah. See you in the next one.